Hi everyone, welcome to another Psych student video. Today we're thinking about personality disorders, but more specifically focused on two types and their terminology, because we get a lot of questions about this. So what is the difference between emotionally unstable personality disorder and borderline personality disorder? Well, fundamentally it comes down to their criteria. So EUPD comes under the ICD-10. And in that, there's the impulsive type and the borderline type. So impulsive type looks more at outbursts and emotional instability. So times where they feel really high and really low, but within really quick periods of time. So within a day, they might have times where they feel really happy and really sad. And they can be quite impulsive, hence the impulsive type. In the borderline type, there again is that emotional instability where they feel really happy and really sad within a very short space of time. But this is more focused on poor self-image. So they might feel that other people would never want to be their friend. They might have a poor self-esteem. And this leads to quite unstable relationships and fear of abandonment. So they might read into what other people are doing around them a lot more. Borderline personality disorder is very similar, but is from the DSM-5 criteria. Again, we look at impaired self and interpersonal functioning. So within impaired self-functioning, we're thinking about identity and self-direction. With interpersonal functioning, we're looking more at empathy and intimacy. There are different traits that are associated with borderline personality disorder. Again, emotional ability. So the criteria really overlap a lot. They might feel anxious, low, they might have poor self-esteem. Again, fear of abandonment comes in as fear of rejection. There could be impulsivity, and risk-taking behaviours are linked in with that as well. There are quite often self-harm and suicidal thoughts. So both disorders very similar, but slight differences in their criteria. So now you might ask, well, what's the difference then between dissocial personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder? And that is really similar again. One is ICD-10, one is DSM-5. So in the ICD-10, we think about dissocial personality disorder being a lack of empathy, a lack of regard for social norms, social laws. They quite often find themselves having periods of time in prison, for example. There might be difficulty maintaining relationships and a lack of guilt when they do something that we usually would feel guilty about. This leads to a lot of conflict with others. In antisocial personality disorder and the DSM-5, they again have that impaired identity and direction, lack of empathy, lack of intimacy, and other traits such as being manipulative, deceitful, could be callous or hostile, and impulsive. And those all really link back to those other criteria in the dissocial personality disorder section. So you can see that they're really very similar clinically. Overall, personality disorders to be diagnosed must be stable across time and across situations. So they can't be very different in their way of managing stressful situations. They're not in keeping with the developmental stage. So perhaps when we're children, we don't share so well, but we grow out of that usually. And it can't be to do with normal cultural behaviours, not to do with substance misuse or other causes like a traumatic brain injury that might change personality. So subtle differences in the criteria, but essentially clinically the same kind of picture. So thank you for watching our video. Please do like, subscribe and share.